removing any of the tape on your screens and anything taped to the back side of the screen before you start washing it in the sink. The first thing you want to wash is first wet your screen, and then with a sponge, before you blast this with very strong curves of water, I suggest wiping off larger globs of ink that you haven't gotten off of your screen and your frame. Here, we're going to turn the hose on. Once we make sure the water is turned on, push up. So I've got a little bit of water on the screen, and I'm going to go back with a spray brush or a sponge. Get the front of your screen, and then get the frames as well. So right up here. Although if you print neatly and don't drag your squeegee all the way to the edge, it's a lot less messy to clean. You'll also want to go ahead and get the back side of your screen as well. I forgot the Matboard. So this happens to all of us. Just remove things as soon as you remember. But try not to let this stuff get in the sink because it can cause clogs. You do not have to remove any of the blue tape that are on the screens. That should stay on here, just packing tape. If you're going to be cleaning for an extended amount of time, make sure to put on your headphones or earplugs. So sometimes when you're cleaning a screen, it helps to pick up the screen and hold it up to the light to see it in different angles. Your goal is to get your stencils back to the color of where the screens are open, where the stencils are. Sometimes some staining, especially in photo emulsion, is normal, but you want to make sure anyone is the holes are opened up. And sometimes you can't quite get that with just the garden hose alone. So sometimes we need to blast any dried ink down the screen using this, the power washer. So if we're using the power washer, I like to leave this side of the screen facing towards me. And then I always start with the power hose off the screen before bringing it over. So let's see if it makes a difference. Still clogged in the wings, over it. I don't want to get too close to the screen because I risk removing the entire stencil if I get too close with this much pressure. So I usually keep it about 6 to 5 inches towards the screen. To show you up close, what I'm talking about is you want to be able to see through the stencil. Some staining is normal. There are some spots up in here where maybe I need to keep cleaning that out. And down in here, there's some areas where you can kind of see, it's almost like the ink is clinging to the edges of the stencil a little bit in the right side of the bird. So I would keep washing that until at least the main stencil is cleared out. If you start noticing things like breaking apart, you can go ahead and stop and leave it. But that's all you need to do for cleaning out these pre-exposed screens. If you do wash these screens and the stencil does start coming out, let me or our monitor or Forrest know, then we can show you how to use the photo emulsion remover. Say you have used the water from the garden hose and the power washer, and yet you still see a stain on the screen. This is from when I did a screen print monotype, and I was using reds, which does have a tendency to stain, and it had sat in my screen for a while before I cleaned it. What I can do is use Simple Green or Speedball Speedclean to clean my screen. This is good if it's fresher ink, like that you've just used within the hour or 3. And if something's been sitting in the screen for a longer period of time with a stain, for example, if you had a photo emulsion, washed out the photo emulsion and still see staining, I recommend Speedball Speedclean. They both work in a way in that you want to spray it, scrub it, spray it, scrub it on both sides and leave it horizontally to sit. For Simple Green, wait at least 30 seconds. You can wait longer, sometimes 3 up to 5 minutes even. And for Speedball Speedclean, they have directions on the back. It works great if you let it sit for 4 to 5 minutes horizontally. So what I mean by that is, say, I'm going to use the Speedball Speedclean, for example. Spray, 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 spray. Scrub, scrub. You can even get the frame too, if you like. Try to keep it horizontal. And then flip it upside down and spray. 1, 2, 3. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Actually, that's getting a lot there right now. But what I suggest doing is letting this sit. If there's no one behind you, just let it sit in the sink. Or if there's a line of people waiting, go ahead after you do this part, take your screen over someplace flat. I have 2 spots I recommend. Either, sorry for the shakes, on top of the screen drying rack. So like up here, or right here. Just if anybody's trying to use the exposure unit, maybe don't use it there, but set a timer for 4 to 5 minutes and then wash it out again, hot water only. And after you have let your screen sit for 4 to 5 minutes, go ahead and bring it here. And I usually like to start washing it with the power washer from the bottom up. This allows some of this to sit in the screen a little bit longer. What you'll want to do is thoroughly wash it on both sides. And so if you hear that kind of growl, that's normal. Don't fret. We're going to start from here, and make sure you thoroughly wash it on both sides. You want to make sure any cleaning material is cleaned out all the way so that any foaming or bubbling is not from chemicals, it's just the water. So here we go. Make sure to get both sides. Sometimes if there's ink residue, a lot of it is on the side that you print with. And then the last thing after I do this, you'll want to rinse any sponges or brushes really quick with either the garden hose or the power washer and place it beneath the sink. Make sure that there's nothing blocking the screen. Sometimes there's just little chunks that come up from the sink. And once everything looks clear, you should be good to go. As you can see, this is a very wet process, so make sure if you're sensitive to lots of water, if you have glasses, for example, bring some glasses wipes for after. If you need to not have a lot of moisture in your hair, you can use a shower cap. I have a couple hidden away, so feel free to ask me. And then this looks pretty good, and once this is done, you can, sorry for the shakes, set it under here to dry.